What's up, cockfags? I'm the Snurdaperds.
And I go by the nombre of Inglewood Sanchez.
Inglewood Cosby sometimes. Ingle,
Sometimes.
Inglewood, Mr. Inglewood.
Inglewood Inc.
Yeah, it's just
Incorporated.
good luck, have fun,
Alright,
cockfag.
what the fuck is this place called? New Fag Central?
Yeah,
Alright, we're doing
Newtown-
a
Newtown
TvP
School.
here on New Jack Swing. And starting out in the bottom left corner is the Red Terran Rogue.
yeah, that guy's a cockfag if I've ever met one. And in the bottom right corner, we got the blue Protoss, the Perturs. His name's Achilles.
I'm pretty sure that's Achilles.
Ach- We got a restaurant coming down the bottom right corner.
Oh yeah, what are they building?
They're building the ribs,
Achilles?
baby back ribs.
All right.
Chili's baby back
Alright,
ribs.
Rogue is clearly one of those guys who walls off against Protoss for some reason.
He might not know he's playing against a Protoss. This could be a random.
Well, yes, I suppose that is possible, but I happen to know for a fact that that's not the case. So he's just walling off against Protoss. He's sitting out a scout at 13 supply now. I've known him to throw gas down early, and oh yeah, he did. The gas is already more than halfway done. So he must be eating burritos from the Chili's.
Yeah.
And the workers are going to kiss and cross the Zelnaga Tower at exactly the same time, so they're both scouting right away. The gateway is just about done, and gas is now tying up for the Protoss as well.
Yeah. So what kind of build do you see coming out of either of these players? Do we know enough about these? Oh, look at that miss there by that probe.
Well, he was rallied into the base, but since the wall off was already complete, the AI, I mean, it's stupid how it works, but the AI already knows that it was walled off, and so it doesn't even try and go up the ramp. And so he's like, hey, why'd I miss the ramp? Oh, because it's fucking walled off, that's why. So Achilles is denied any scouting information. As far as Achilles' playstyle, I do not know anything about him. Although he looks like he might be snagging an SCV kill back at his base. No, he will actually pull back, so Rogue scouting SCV is going to pull away safely. Rogue,
Yeah,
I've casted...
He lost one at his base though. An SCV was killed by a probe.
Ah, yeah, you're right. They actually both have one worker kill already. So they've done a trade. But yes, as I was saying, Rogue, I'm a little familiar with his play. I've played with him before, and that this replay is from him, but I know he sent me wins and losses, so I'm not sure if he's... I mean, I'm not just saying that this is a win and it's going to be a boring game by any means. But he is a bio-heavy player. He likes to go Marine heavy in the beginning. He likes to do some early pressure now and again. And when it hits the mid-game, he likes to do Marine tank medevac. So all very kind of standard ground play. And that doesn't mean he won't be doing some goofy-ass Banshee harass or anything by any means, but that's what we can probably expect from him.
Yeah, we're seeing Warp Gate come out real quick here from the Perturs. So
Ermagerd, Werpgerts.
Warp Gerts. So we're probably gonna see some sort of cheese attempt here.
You think he's going cheesy, do you?
Well,
Chili's. Think he's going to be putting that queso cheese all over the place?
Well, I was hoping.
All right, that's
One
fair.
can hope, can he not?
Yeah.
Factory coming down for Rouge.
I like that.
Yeah.
And barracks number 2 is down with a tech lab on it, so he'll be able to start doing either stim or... okay, it's going to be stim. So stim is now on the way. That's a long kind of buff timer to get through, so he's going to get an early start on that, which is very good.
But his opponent's already bringing down his second Nexus. We're gonna see some rapid expansion as we would expect out of a Protoss player.
Right, you are. And it doesn't look like... Does he have a forge down already? No, I don't believe so. No, he's doing 3-gate robo into expand. So that's interesting. It's ballsy, is what that is. He's kind of banking that Rogue's not going to be doing any early pressure. And I'm interested to see how that's going to go, because I'm fairly sure Rogue likes to poke out with 8 or 10 Marines kind of at the 8 or 10 minute mark. So
But you know, he's already bringing out his Marauders. He might not have the income to keep this up. You know, he's going to get himself a small army, and if he pokes once and loses, it's going to be real costly.
Right. And we actually see him going for a starport quite early as well. So it looks like he might actually be rushing to medevac, either for drop play or just to have that kind of healing boost with his ground army, which is actually doing quite well. His macro hasn't slipped. He's been producing units pretty consistently, and he's actually working on tanks now as well, or siege mode for his tanks.
Yeah, and he has an engineering bay coming down. He's definitely ahead as far as the macro game's concerned. This Protoss player's building very simple units very slowly. It's like he's never gotten this far into the game before.
Right, well, he sacrificed a bit as far as supply to get that second base out. And if he's able to get that nice and saturated, it's going to be a big advantage for him, especially since he's not being pressured at this point. So it's a bit of a gamble. I thought that 3-gate robo and to expand that early was risky, but it seems like so far it's paying off. And observers,
we're seeing a little drop here. 4 Marauders are coming in.
Right, that's going to go straight to the mineral line of the main.
They were unfortunately caught by that observer. I don't know if he saw that, but the observer could have seen it. So
Let's see. I don't think it was spotted, actually, because there's stalkers and some sentries down there at the front ramp, and they're not being pulled back into position to defend against this, which you would expect him to do if he saw that.
Yeah, but this medevac's just sitting here in the middle here.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't actually rallied to go and all the way through to the drop, but here it goes. It looks like it's got a little gas going through the exhaust now, and some banter comes out from the players. What league are you? I'm dropping your main with Marauders League. Is going to be the response to that.
Yeah. A couple of Marauders get dropped in, and we're going to just see them start tearing the shit out of this. As soon as you start seeing a response, the response is coming in, but
they're going to those worker kills just shooting up. 13,
oh man,
13 to 1. So this drop, it doesn't matter if he loses everything. He doesn't lose on the team now. That was well worth it.
Yes, it definitely was. He's going to tear up his military, the military from the enemy, though.
Right. He almost got that one sentry down as well, which is too bad. That would have been great to get a kill on him. But that sentry will regain some shields, and I don't want to see Achilles pull all of that away. He just got dropped once. That doesn't mean you're not going to be dropped twice. But it looks like he's going to kind of pull up into the middle between his two bases and cut his response time in half, because he was way out of position for that one. And hopefully he doesn't make that mistake again.
No,
so,
what would you say as far as the difference in supply and also unit count? Does that mean a lot this early in the game for Rogue?
Let's take a look at the units tab. It's 30 workers to 36 workers, so there's not a huge discrepancy there, and Rogue is in fact behind by about 10 supply, despite only... Well, no, he's actually behind in workers. He's the one with 30 SCVs, so yeah, he has definitely not been producing SCVs like he needs to, but of course he's only been working out of one command center this whole time. So by this point, he probably should have more than that, but I don't think it's critical, and having just scored all those good kills with that drop play, I'm willing to call it just about even. So base number 2 now comes down for Rogue, but it's not unspotted. There is that observer there, and it sees this going down. It sees everything.
Yeah, and he's going straight for the gas on both of those. He, I might expect tanks to be coming out, but they're not.
No, and even more critically than that, SCVs are not coming out either. And being behind economically, he needs to be pumping out SCVs 2 at a time for the next 5 or 6 minutes at least, and dropping mules.
Yeah, his mules, he's just sitting on his mules, so...
So nonetheless, Armory's coming down. That's going to open up 2-2 upgrades if he gets around to it. Looks like he's remembered that there's an economy part of this game. SCVs are now being produced. Mules are coming down. A bit of an SCV transfer from the main to the natural. And it looks as though the Protoss can't really decide on what tech route he wants to go, because he's researching Storm for his High Templar, and he's also moving up to Stargate and getting Zealot Charge. So I kind of like charge and storm together. That could be, you know, even Archon Templar, Archon charge lots. It could be High Templars in the back for sniping medevacs, but the Stargate, I'm interested to see what he actually plans to do with that.
You know, and he's actually setting down photon cannons in his base. You know, so he's trying to stop that that drop from happening again. But fortunately for Rogue, he's not dropping anymore.
Look at all these pylons around the outskirt of his base. Scan comes down from Rogue. I'll just interrupt myself here. Right on top of the army, so he does see what's available. He sees the Observer in the pack. He sees a bunch of high-energy sentries, and he sees Immortals are in the mix too. So that's going to make him wary about using Marauders and tanks. And it looks like actually Void Rays are going to be added into this mix. That's what that Stargate was for. And how many gateways is this So we're on 6-gate Robo Stargate from Achilles now. Supplies all looking very close. Both players spending their money. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen.
Oh, Rogue supply blocked himself. What the fuck?
And he's making a couple of depots at once now that he's realized he's done so. But right, that's definitely going to hurt him. Especially when he's behind on the work account still. 41 to... Oh, he's not actually... He's caught up a little bit. 41 to 43. Both players need to keep making workers. I'm sure Achilles was actually in a pretty good shape until he lost a bunch to that drop. And he's actually going to transition into Colossus now. So it looks like Achilles just wants to make every single unit in the whole game.
Yeah, you know, the mixed bag offense is not something that we usually see, and it's not particularly effective. Very expensive from the Protoss, but, you know, he's also moving up to a third base, so maybe he's thinking that he'll just stay one base ahead and we'll be just fine doing so.
Right, and what do you think about that base location for number 3? Do you think he should have taken the one kind of between the main and the natural, easy to defend, or do you like just kind of dominating the whole side of the map?
You know, I like seeing a guy do that, and if you notice, Rogue's doing the exact same thing. He's moving to this position in the top left corner. They're putting their bases out of the way so they might be able to produce units without constantly being barraged on. Sure. It makes it shitty for defending, but at the same time, you know, you can put some of your expensive, hard to build buildings way up in the middle of nowhere, and hopefully you won't be getting harassed. But again, we're seeing Rogue supply blocked, and I think that's going to be the major problem for Rogue going forward. If he's constantly, you know, supply blocking himself, then he's not going to be able to produce.
Certainly. He did make 4 right now, so it's like he realizes that he's actually supply blocking himself critically, and so he's trying to compensate for that. But we can see that it's actually costing him even economically, because the gas is getting ahead of his minerals to the point where he can't even spend stuff when he's blocked, of course. And we saw Void Ray creep across the map. 2 Void Rays now are going to link up, and they might be trying to do a little sneak behind the mineral line kind of shenanigans. But I also saw some missile turrets going up from Rogue. I'm trying to see where they actually went down at. Oh, he was chucking them down at the top of his ramp for detection, not so much for anti-air. He does have one at his natural, but it looks like his main is actually pretty undefended for air attacks.
Oh, yeah, just more supply depots coming down back there. This could be really bad for him, except he doesn't have a lot of minerals left, so he doesn't have a lot of workers back there. This might be okay. It might buy him enough time to get his considerable army back up there.
Right, but I mean, all the time that happens, when there's not SCVs to be lost, what are they going to be killing? They're going to be taking out all of these supply depots that he's already having trouble building.
Yes, definitely. Luckily, they're both at max supply now, and we're not seeing much in the way of workers on that third base for Rogue, but Achilles has no problem starting to fill up his mineral line.
He's going to maybe lose this observer right at the top of the ramp. He's poking around with it. He's got control of it. He's actually going to see this command center lift off and drop down to take a 4th base. And I just want to look at his vision real fast. So he doesn't know that Rogue's on a 3rd. Rogue's scouting is actually pathetic right now. He hasn't seen anything but the main base of Achilles. So not only does he not know that he's on a 3rd base, he hasn't even confirmed that he's on a 2nd. But I mean, he can reasonably assume so at this point, especially when he's not pushing out. You'd think if he thought that his opponent was on 1 base, he'd be a little aggressive. Nonetheless, Scouting not real strong for both these players, but it's 4 base to 3 base now, and these 2 Void Rays are going to poke in and discover this 4th base while it's constructing. It's actually trying to turn into a planetary fortress, which I really like. That's a great position for a planetary. And it's actually going to finish. That big response from Rogue is going to push away these 2 Void Rays and a big stim. He stemmed the entire army to catch those 2 Void Rays, and he does get 1 kill for his troubles, but now those medevacs are going to be busy for the next 20 minutes.
And where are you on time?
21:35.
Yeah, you're ahead of me.
Well, step your game up. Is it like 1 second apart, or did we have a big gap?
I'm on 45, 46, 47, 48.
Alright, so these medevacs, I mean, fortunately they were all sitting on full energy, so they're going to get to spend some of that and probably rejuvenate at the speed at which the skinning is going. Tech-wise, what do we see? Blink is coming up just now, getting extended thermal lance for Achilles, back for his Colossus, of which there is only 1 at the moment, and he's actually maxed out, both players maxed out, both sitting on a big ol' a bank account to spend later, trust fund. How many immortals? 3 immortals, kind of, yeah, just a little bit of everything. No Dark Templar and not a whole lot of air units in there, but just about everything else for Achilles. Rogue is now maxed out and is pushing across the map with part of his army. He's he left half behind.
Now, do you think this is something that he did on purpose to make it?
No, absolutely not. He fucked up. I think he forgot to make them all one control group, because the second part is just now lagging up like, hey, wait for me. And that's not so much a problem, and it actually kind of worked out for him, because there was a Zealot there at the Zelnaga Tower, and so it only saw the small movement. It didn't do the whole big-ass map. Part 2 is actually going to lag behind at the Zelnaga Tower, while the first group clears off the 3rd base for Achilles, and so that's going to fall. No contest. Achilles just now mobilizing to come and try and do something about that.
Oh, we're going to see a classic pincer maneuver here, except no, that's not exactly what happened.
That's Probes running away for Achilles on the other part. Oh, but the Rogue's group actually stopped running, and so they will be taking over. 1 Colossus is going to start doing damage, 1 else rolled up. 2 Storms go down on top of those Terran units, and they are gone.
Annihilated.
That clears up about 35 supply worth of Rogue supply count, and he can now fill that in with more expensive units if he chooses to. Plus 3 weapons, plus 2 armor on the way for the Terran, plus 2 ground armor on the way for the Protoss, and it looks like the 2 armies are about to butt heads in the middle. We might get a good engagement here, and it looks like they're going to commit. Rogue actually stims up his whole army. A couple of Vikings there in the mix, going to shoot down the 1 Colossus with some terrific storms coming out, covering the entire Terran army. And that just melted away all those bio units. I mean, the Thor still
stands. You just fucked on bio now.
The bio just got melted. And without the bio there to soak up the damage, the Thor quickly fell as well. So actually the supply looks really even after that engagement. 95 to 95 at the moment. We're going to see who can replenish their stores more effectively. And look at that. Achilles has actually taken a ninja base in the top left, just next door to Rogue's kind of ninja third. And I don't think that's going to be scouted ever.
No, probably not. You would not expect your opponent to get that close, at least in Silver League.
Right. Yeah, that's a good sneaky move in Silver if there's nobody scouts. As evidenced by Rogue being on 4 bases without Achilles actually being aware of that either. So he still has not seen that one in the Northwest. So both of those Northwest bases have gone blind.
We're seeing a couple of what the fuck buildings are these? Starports coming down. You know, are we gonna see some God, what are those big old fucking things called? Battle cruisers.
Yeah, I think Rogue seeing the 1 Colossus made him scared that there was probably more Colossus that he just wasn't aware of, and so he's going to start pumping out Vikings. And yes, we can actually see that's what the case is going to be. So he's just doing the blind counter to the Colossus play, which is fine. That's really smart. And the Thor is also really strong against Colossus because they can, of course, use their anti-air missiles on them. So the whole
look at this right here. A couple of fucking Void Rays come in, but unfortunately the Vikings there can clean that shit up. Only 1 siege tank fell.
I missed that completely. My mistake.
Yeah, units lost tab. We see the Terran has lost more units, but the resources lost are definitely against the Protoss.
Right. And the workers killed tab still paints a good picture about this economy. 19 to 1. And not that it really matters. Both players have more money than God right now. They're just not spending it particularly well. Achilles' production tab has been just vacant for the last 5 minutes of this game. The only thing he's making right now is ground armors 3. He's not producing a single unit. He's not upgrading anything. He's not building any buildings. And it looks like he's actually started to make probes again, so that's nice. Adding on a couple of gas. Warping in some High Templar, but the supply count is so far behind. He needs to add on a bunch more gateways. He's still on the same original 6 gate that he's been on for pretty much the whole game. And with that much money, it's inexcusable. He could pop out 30 zealots right now, no problem.
Yeah, if he did that, he would have something to soak up the damage for these Archons.
Right.
But unfortunately for him, right now, he's not in a position to do anything like that.
So, more production. Achilles, if you wind up watching this, more production is key. Rogue is actually going to do a tech swap here into Cloak Banshee. And he's adding on additional factories. I don't know if he wants to bolster his Thor production behind some Banshee harass. Oh, and I'm totally missing a drop. Top of the natural expansion of Achilles, there was a 4 Marauder drop. And they're going to rack up more worker kills. Not that Achilles can afford them, but the supply count, he takes like a 20 supply lead here. 1 Marauder left, and he does eventually fall. But he got even more kills. Let's take a look. 38 workers killed now. So he just doubled his workers killed. That's another 19 he added on. That's just tremendous. So he's killed a base and a half's worth of probes this game versus the 1 scouting SCV that has been lost. And that is just crippling.
Yeah, I don't remember how to get to the workers lost tab.
You can look at Control R for workers killed.
Control R. Look at that, folks. Retarded.
Okay,
only
one Marine has actually scouted out that ninja base of Achilles in the northwest. And in response, Achilles is going to push in with his whole army and try and react to that. Defend it, I guess. Yeah, it looks like he's not going to counterattack. He's actually trying to defend it. No, it is going to counterattack. Where are you going? I can't... There we go. So
it's funny. He only attacked with a single Marine up there.
Yeah, well, he just kind of like let the cat out of the bag with a mirror. Good storms coming down as he pushes up the ramp. Not the best position to be in, but he's actually making a really good job of it. A bunch of Thors and a bunch of Bile are here to defend against it, but they fall and get melted so quickly from all the splash damage of these Archons. Huge army of Cloaked Banshees coming in. That might be the saving grace, because there's nothing to respond to those. There's no observer to take a target on them. And so the Archons are all mopped up. The Immortals are getting mopped up. They don't even get a kill on that barracks.
Oh man, look at this supply count difference here.
Oh, 27. Yeah. That was a last chance, and it was actually really, really effective. He melted through the standing army of Rogue with that.
Yeah, it definitely was a good push. It's dangerous as fuck though, and
here we come. Good group of Marines and Marauders going to push in and clear up that ninja force base. And once he loses that, he's basically mined out everywhere else, and he's not even spending money.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where he's not GGing like a cockfag. I would be leaving right now.
Yeah, I don't know what he plans to do about this. Apparently his response to this, his big comeback victory is going to be by getting shield upgrades. Because that's the only thing he's making right now. He's not spending his 4,000 minerals on more production. He's going to upgrade minerals. And a couple of these probes grabbed gas, and they're going to run all the way home, leading the Marine back to base. That's about as long-range mining as you can get. Look at these probes. They're mining from the northwest position to the southeast position. Can't fault them for being lazy. Rogue still fully cloaked up with his 4 Banshees moving across the middle of the map. And they're going to go over and start knocking on that natural to see what they can get done. I don't think there's an observer. No. Achilles does not have an observer, and he can't really afford to make one. Yes,
he's going to run out of energy right before he gets there anyway, so...
Yeah, he actually stopped so that he could let all that energy run off.
Yeah.
But that's good. You know what I do like that he's doing right now is he knows that he's won, but he's not just like throwing his whole army against his enemy's base with a prayer shot. He's adding on base number 5.
Yeah,
he's really smart.
Yeah, he's already saturated it. He's just making sure he can get enough minerals, you know, so he's ahead of the game for next time.
Brilliant play right there. Trying to make an observer out of his robotics facility to see these cloaked banshees, and he targeted down the pylon repowering the building before the observer could pop out. So at least until that building is repowered, those banshees can pretty much run around with impunity as long as they've got energy. Which
yeah, there's unfortunately only 2 of them left.
That's okay. They do discover base number 3 trying to be built, and there's a good cancel out of Achilles, so he saves some money there. He realizes, obviously, that he needs to get the game economically. It looks like he doesn't actually know how to go about doing that. So, at this point, 198 supply to 18 supply, we can probably stop insulting your intelligence like there might be a comeback here. We're just kind of waiting for Achilles to say fuck it and leave.
Yeah, quit the game, Achilles, you cockfag.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a shot while I wait.
Yeah, it's shot time. Shizat time.
There, nope, maybe not. There we go. GG without the GG. Achilles leaves the game, and Rogue ekes out a win 36 minutes into it. A couple of times I really thought he lost that shit.
No, definitely. That was a close game.
Yeah, and sticking to his bio play that I mentioned I'm familiar with him doing was kind of his weakness with so many Archons and then the transition into Colossus, because they just got melted. But having good Vikings, good hard counter to the Colossus was smart, and just being economically sound, keeping his macro up, he pulled out a win, so good for him.
Yeah.
This has been Killing Esports. I've been Inglewood. I'm with Snurdaperds, and we're the fuck out of here.